All right, so we got another one here today. This is the Velotric Nomad 1 electric bike. Normal price is $15.99, but it's on sale right now for $13.99. And this is my hands-on impressions with this bike. And Velotric did sponsor this video, but all of my thoughts and opinions about this bike are my own. They just wanted me to have the opportunity to show you this bike. And this bike does come in two different versions. So you have the step-through version, which makes it very easy to get on and off of this bike. And then you also have a high-step version, which will have a bar at the top that will be making you have to stretch a little bit to get on the bike, but it is very convenient if you do want to place some bags on it if you want. And the recommended rider heights for the step-through version will be between 5'1" and 6'4", and for the high-step version, it's going to be good for riders between 5'6" and 6'9". Now, in the bottom portion of this bike, you will find a place to mount a water bottle holder or any other type of mounting accessory. And then also at the front and the back, you will be finding some mounting points for either a rear rack or a front basket. And the company does sell those on the website if you want to add them in the future, but they don't come standard on this bike. But some things that do come standard on this bike will be front and rear fenders to keep you protected from the mud, from the rain, and all that other stuff that you might be riding through. And also included is a headlight up front. Now, I will recommend upgrading that headlight on your own if you will be doing a lot of nighttime riding, just to get a headlight that has a little bit more wider coverage. But for me, this headlight is just okay for those times when I'm riding around and I'm like, oh shoot, it's getting dark and I need to get back home. But for serious nighttime riding, I would probably upgrade that. And also I would probably add a rear light to this bike that does not come standard. So I wish that was the case. I wish they did include that into it, even if it added a little bit more to the price. Having that rear light is always something that's very convenient for me. And then lastly, I can't forget, you got a little bell up front on the handlebars to let people know that you're coming. All right, so let's go for a ride. Now, the good thing about this bike is that it is a step-through design, so you can step through just like this and then get on your way. And so this bike doesn't have any rear suspension, just a front suspension, which is decent, has a decent amount of travel, and you can lock it and unlock it. So if you want to lock it to get the maximum speed, you can do that. But also you can just unlock it to have enough cushion to be able to allow you to be able to go over some slight bumps like that. And so yeah, for paved roads and stuff, this bike is going to be just fine. And also I really like the seat too. So the seat is wide enough for me, also has a really good amount of cushion for it too. So it's not going to be super skinny. You know, I hate those super skinny seats. This one does not have one of those seats. Now, you can always elect to get a suspension seat post. So I don't think the company actually sells any on their website, but you can always get one from a third party or just get one off on Amazon. If I remember, I'll put a link down below to one of my favorite ones that I do use. But this bike does have some good hydraulic disc brakes too, so they're gonna be able to get you in a stop in a hurry. I felt they were very comfortable, and also no squeaking or anything like that right out of the box, so it didn't really need that much adjustment. And this bike does have a 750 watt motor, which is plenty of power for your city riding. So I'm going to do a speed test and a braking test here in a little bit. But I will tell you, as far as like going up hills and stuff, as long as you're not going up any really steep, San Francisco type hills, I found that I was able to just use the, 5 levels of pedal assist to get up all of these hills. Also, another good thing is the fact that this does have an 8-speed Shimano shifter as well. So very reliable, very comfortable to use, and those controls are on the right-hand side of the handlebars. But when you do just want to cruise around, this bike does have a throttle on the left-hand side, and it is a thumb throttle to make it very easy to just kind of stop pedaling and just keep accelerating as you want to go. Now, next to the throttle, you will find the controls for the pretty big display. It's a black and white display. I would like to see a color version on it, but it does give you all of that important information as far as your distance travel, your speed, and all of that good stuff. So it's a good display. And also, if you do hold down on the minus button, that will enable the walking mode for this bike. So if you do just want to push this bike around, maybe in your garage or something, or you're going up a slight incline, just hold down on that, and that will give you a little bit of a push. And this bike does come with a removable battery, so you can use one of the 2 keys that comes with it to easily put the keys in, unlock it, and then now you can take the battery inside to charge it, or just take the battery off of the bike to make it a little bit lighter, especially if you want to put it on a bike rack that's on your car. But the battery itself is a 48 volt, 692 watt hour battery, and the company says that it does estimate the pedal assist range to be 55 miles and the throttle range to be 52 miles. But just like any e-bike, that range is going to be dependent on your weight and how hard you're pushing the bike. If you're just using the throttle a lot and going up a lot of hills, you can see that range go down. But if you might be a lot lighter than I am, you might find that your range might be extended a little bit. But yeah, it's a good amount of range to not give anyone any range anxiety, especially if you plan on charging it at the end of every day or after every ride. All right, so now for my speed test with this bad boy. So I'm gonna start off just using the throttle only. So let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1. Boom. And one thing I can tell you is that I really do like the acceleration of this. Like, it gets you up and going. So the 750 watt motor does peak out at 1200 watts. And you're mostly going to see that on, when you're going up hills and stuff, but we're already at 19 miles per hour on the bike's display. We're at 20 miles per hour on the bike's display. We're at 19 on my GPS app on my phone. And so what you're expecting from this Class 2 electric bike is going to be around 20 miles per hour, which is great for cruising around. When I was driving around in the park earlier, just being able to keep up with traffic is good. And because you do have that acceleration when you are at like a stop sign or a stoplight, you're not going to speed off like a speed racer, but you're definitely not going to be, being too annoying to people if you are in traffic. And so now I'm going to switch over to just using the pedal assist. And I did a test earlier, and the pedal assist, even if you're pumping like really hard, you're probably like the maximum I was able to get up to was like 21 miles per hour. But you're still going to be hovering around that 20 miles per hour as the bike is keeping itself in check in order to maintain its Class 2 rating here for an e-bike. So this makes it legal in a lot of places, so you don't have to worry about getting stopped and stuff like that. And now let me test out the hydraulic disc brakes. Really, really good braking power. So the speed for this type of class of electric bike and the braking power, definitely solid. And all right, so we have a little bit of a hill here. I'm starting from a complete stop, and this is typical, of the hills that we have out here in St. Louis. So I'm going at around 14 miles per hour, just using the throttle only. This motor is definitely more than capable of getting you up these regular type of hills like this. And it's doing a little bit of we're gonna call this off-roading here. And so this bike does have 26 by 4-inch fat tires, and the treading on it makes them just okay for, your light little off-roading here. Something typical in the city where maybe you just need to go off in some grass, maybe in a park or something. But because it only has the front suspension, I'm getting bumped around here a little bit, but nothing too unbearable. But yeah, off-roading is just okay for the city with this type of setup. And so yeah, this is the Nomad 1 here. So for $13.99, the sale price, I think you're getting a really good all-around bike that doesn't really have that many faults. I would add a rear light in the next version and maybe a slightly better headlight. But outside of that, I'm liking what you get here. I would probably say that this bike is going to be a great first-time e-bike for people, or you're just looking for another e-bike that has the fit and finish that this one has. This is going to be a great solution for you. So I'll drop a link down below to check out more information about this Nomad 1 so you can pick up one for yourself. Just check out the website a little bit further. Do whatever you want to do at that link, but that link will be down below. Let me know your thoughts about this e-bike in the comments below, and I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.